Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm Aileen Crotty, the founder and director of the Film My Bike Film Festival. And we are here in studio today to talk with filmmaker Manny Marquez. He's going to be joining us at the Global Bike Festival this coming weekend on Saturday, April 4th. We're really excited for this event. It features a live performance by the bike-loving musician and poet, Ben Weaver. You can check out Ben Weaver's music online. He'll be presenting a live performance. We're going to be showing some great bike movies from the Film by Bike archives. We're digging deep into our archives to show you some of the best bike movies from over the years. And also, we've got a moderated chat and hangout with Manny Marquez, who is a filmmaker based in Hood River, Oregon. This will be your opportunity to share your thoughts and feelings on what you're going through right now. And all of this is taking place on Saturday, April 4th. We're going to be live streaming on YouTube. You can get more information at filmbybike.org. So I thought I would bring Manny Marquez to the screen today so we can chat a little bit more about his history with bikes and what you can expect this weekend. So Manny, thanks so much for joining me today.
No problem, Aileen. How are you doing?
Good. Tell us a little about where you are right now.
Right now, I'm in Hood River, Oregon at Dirty Fingers Bicycle Repair. There's no customers here because the businesses are kind of closed, but Mitchell, the owner of Dirty Fingers here, is open for bike repair and service. People are dropping them outside and he brings them in. He's bringing in one right now. And they're able to still service bikes because that's an essential business. Unfortunately, it's happy hour time and there's no one at the bar but me because we're not allowed to do that. But so I'm at Dirty Fingers in Hood River.
That's awesome. So we're really looking forward to having you on air with us for the live stream this coming weekend. And when we started to put this event together and thought about who we might want to bring in to be involved with it, I could think of no better person to moderate our hangout and chat and talk about bike movies than you, because you have such a long history with cycling and movies, being a professional filmmaker. So tell us a little bit about how you got into the bike side of filmmaking and what drew you to cycling.
I was not really a cyclist prior to 2009. I was hired. I do a lot of documentary film work, and I was hired by Trek Bikes to go to the Tour de France. And it was with Team Astana, who were riding Trek Bikes that year. And it was a really exciting year because it was Lance Armstrong and Alberto Contador. You had Levi Leipheimer. It was just a really all-star team. Johan Brunel was still running the team. Obviously, this is prior to all the doping scandals, but there were some. But anyways, prior to where it all ended up, it was an exciting place to be. But I didn't know anything about bike racing. I knew who Lance Armstrong was because in America he had become such a celebrity, just person of sport. But I didn't know anything about cycling. So we were around all these great people, like Eddie Merckx is there one day, and like I said, Johan Brunel, who was a great racer in his own right, and Phil Liggett and Graham Watson, who's an amazing photographer, famous photographer of cycling. Like I was around all these people, and I was discovering them as I did this 20-part series for Trek. So I traveled with Barry Polterman, who's a great editor and a friend of mine. He's edited American Movie. He's edited Jim and Andy at Netflix. He's probably got 4 or 5 films that he's edited that have won Sundance. So he went with me, and I shot during the day, and then we'd come back and we'd have dinner together, and then he would edit all night. And then we'd put out these Trek pieces the next morning, and it became this body of work. But like I said, the most unique thing about it was that I didn't know the sport of cycling. I didn't know how it worked. I kind of thought the first guy who crosses the line is the winner. I didn't understand the time. I didn't understand pelotons and how all that worked. And I was given the opportunity to ride in the team car during time trials and all these other things that most people don't get to do. So I got thrown headfirst into pro cycling as a filmmaker. And then afterwards, I was a really big guy. I'm still a big guy, but a little less big than I was then. I was probably 320 pounds then. And I was like, man, this cycling thing looks to keep people pretty fit. So I tried to get a bike. And my wife at the time had worked for somebody that owned a bike shop, and they were a Kona dealer, and they got me a deal. And I got like a 28 pound Kona Dewdrop, and I just started riding that everywhere. until the point that I eventually lost like 120 pounds riding that bike. I put a little bit on since then, but still, ever since then, cycling's been a part of my life. And then I think it was coming at cycling as a filmmaker first. I was able to really explore it and dive into something I didn't know about. Any way I would approach making a film, kind of unraveling all the pieces, beginning, middle, end, and discovering it, that I wanted to become a cyclist myself. And so then when I got involved with Dirty Fingers and Mitchell, who's right there working right behind me, found out I was a filmmaker, we kind of started scheming things to do here, and the rest is history. We've had films and Film by Bike and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what it's like there in Hood River as a cyclist. What's your ride community and culture like? What's the scene like? I know Dirty Fingers is a real hub for you and a real part of your cycling family. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Dirty Fingers is the gathering place. It's I say it's family. It's definitely family. But in Hood River, there's all kinds of cycling. I mean, really, like we have Team Fingers, our cyclocross team. We also have road racers, mountain bike racers, enduro, downhill. Like Post Canyon is 2 miles from here. So during the summer, Mitchell has Post and Pint, where they go ride Post and they come back and they get a pint. We have Cold Lap in the winter, where we do kind of a cross multi-surface ride on our cross bikes. Road riding for every direction as far as the eye can see. You can do 10,000 feet of climbing in 100 miles and come back and have a pint. So the family around Dirty Fingers, I feel, is very built on the community of the bike, but there's a lot of different disciplines. And all of those are fostered here. I mean, we might rib each other, roadie versus mountain bike, or cross sucks or whatever, all the jokes get tossed around. I race cross, so I'm not saying that. But, it's a family. Like, we're really supportive on and off the bike. I think that's really what Mitchell's created here is community and family. And that's what's the hardest part about the whole COVID-19 thing is right now, because this is, for a lot of people, the closest thing they get to even church or community of that sense. And I think they're missing that community of people that they're around and have that pint at the end of the day and have that laugh together.
Yeah, that to me has been one of the things that's really been sticking out for me, and has me having a lot of emotionality and concern around the issue, is this idea that a lot of what cycling is about for so many people that are into it is that sense of community and the culture and the gathering, and even people who are shy, and when they're on their bike and they're pedaling, they can let that social anxiety or that shyness kind of glide away because they're doing the same thing that the people around them are doing, or because you don't need to have a lot of words necessarily when you're riding, you're just having that shared experience. I know that for a lot of people, they don't have that right now. They're isolated, and some people might live alone, or they may not like the people that they live with, or even if they do, they're not with their cycling family necessarily. So I feel like we haven't yet seen the magnitude of how this is impacting people being stuck at home alone and not being on the bike as much as we'd like to be. That's why we're so excited to host this event next weekend, to be able to offer virtually anyway this opportunity to connect and have a little lightheartedness, watch some fun movies, not have to think about things as much right now, and to be able to just have a moment where we relax and let our minds focus on the films instead and kind of sink into that world. I think it's going to be a neat opportunity for people.
I think if I can add, Aileen, like what you're talking about is two communities that have been affected, and maybe a lot of people see them as non-essential, but the cycling community has been affected. I mean, the state parks are closing, the national forest is closing. We still have road riding here going on, but even some of that's been affected by the Moser tunnels and other things. But also Post Canyon is like the last place to ride your mountain bike right now here. And, that's one community. The cycling community is being affected. We can't ride with our friends. Secondly, the film community has been affected. I mean, I've lost 3 jobs in the last week. I know friends that are on TV shows completely done for now. So I think the Global Bike Festival is really an opportunity to bring the bike community together, and also to support filmmakers that are having, even if we're not making big money off this thing or something, it's raising the spirits of filmmakers right now. I can tell you personally, raising the spirit as a filmmaker is like, oh, my work's going to get out. Somebody's going to see my work. I think that's really important right now because I've questioned, like, did I choose the wrong career? And I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a first responder. Like, I'm a filmmaker. I'm not serving anyone right now. So I hope that by being a storyteller, we can bring a little hope and joy and happiness into people's homes by showing them some of our films, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And we do have a great collection that we will be showing this coming weekend. Manny's made some great films over the years. We've had the pleasure of showing them at Film by Bike. And recently, Manny hosted a retrospective of his work in Hood River. That was a really cool event to be able to head to Hood River and to see all those films of yours, your films from the Trek days. I had not seen, I would say, 90% of what you showed that night. So that was really neat opportunity to see all of that.
It was a really good night in the Double Mountain Brewery, which now is only open for takeout. We host a winter movie series there. I host, and I was happy to show my bike films. That was the night of bike films. So.
Yeah. So how are you and your family and folks out there in Hood River? How are you guys getting through this time? What's keeping you going, and what's on your mind these days?
Well, it's, our life has changed. Hood River is an outdoor city. And we are, like I said, we are restricted where we can ride in terms of the trail closures, in terms of even the road rides. Certain paths and things are closed, but people are still getting out and pedaling, and just alone. They're just riding alone because we're doing our job for the social distance. But I'd also say, like, again, I go back to the happy hour analogy. Like, a lot of us come together at happy hour on the weekend or even during the week to have that pint, talk about your friend's day, talk about your day. But the most important thing is we're all safe, and as far as I know, we're all pretty healthy, and the families are good. So it's just a time to pause and recollect and think about the future rides, I think, and the future pint with your friends, and then focus on getting through this thing and doing our part for society.
Yeah. So, folks, we're talking today with Manny Marquez. He's a filmmaker who lives in Hood River, Oregon, and he's known for making some incredible bike films as well as being a professional filmmaker. Manny's going to be joining us at the Global Bike Fest coming up this Saturday, April 4th. This is our opportunity to connect as a global bike community. And in the fabric of that event, we will have a live performance by the bike-loving musician and poet Ben Weaver. We're going to be showing some incredible bike movies from the Film by Bike archives over the years, and Manny is going to be moderating a global hangout and chat, a chance for you to share what's on your mind as we go through this challenging time of darkness and uncertainty, feelings of isolation as the bike community. So we're really excited to have Manny moderating that aspect. We'll also be popping in between the films, telling you a little bit more about the films and what you're seeing and where they're from, because we do have a global community of filmmakers, and there's some really interesting stories behind how some of these films got made. So I'm looking forward to that aspect as well. Manny, tell us a little bit about what you are looking forward to at the Global Bike Fest.
Well, I haven't seen your list yet, so I'm looking forward to maybe seeing some stuff that I haven't seen. I mean, I've only been involved with Film by Bike since about 2015, I believe, 2016. I can't remember exactly. So I'm looking forward to maybe seeing something I haven't seen. And then also the chat, moderating the chat, I think hearing from people that I don't know, but seeing where people are at and kind of just maybe providing a little bit of comfort, saying like, hey, we're all in this together. That's what I really like building community. Is I get, they make fun of me. They call me the team preacher sometimes because it's like I'm always talking about that. And I always think it's really important. And like, especially right now. So I'm looking forward to seeing those films that I haven't seen, and looking forward to connecting with more people. And if we can bring a little bit of joy, like I said, like, hey, I can't go to Film by Bike right now, but I can go watch this, stream and be connected. That's cool to me. A little better than just tuning into Netflix by yourself at night. It's like, let's make it active. It's still active,
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. So folks, if you like the sound of this and you want to join us, this is the Global Bike Fest coming up on April 4th. It's a live stream event on YouTube, so you don't need to download any special programs. It's going to be really easy for everybody to tune in. It is a ticketed event with the ticket proceeds going to support the artists that are involved in this project. So once you buy your tickets, you'll be given the access link to tune in to the live stream. It's 5 o'clock Pacific time on Saturday, April 4th. All the information you need is at filmedbybike.org. Right there on our website, you can learn more about this event with Manny Marquez, who we're talking with today, as well as the musician Ben Weaver and great movies from the Film by Bike archives. So Manny, it was great chatting with you today. I'm so glad you could join us. We're really looking forward to next weekend, and this is just a nice little preview of what's to come. Stay safe out there in Hood River, and I can't wait to be on with you live next Saturday.
Yeah, I look forward to it. It's my whole week's revolving around. I'm excited already.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Well, thanks so much, Manny. I appreciate it.
All right, take care.